everyone, and welcome. And I hope you brought your rain gear with you as we... The Yellow Jackets will get us underway with the opening kickoff. He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. Okay, so here comes the offense for the first time today. These rivalry games can really get the blood pumping, and we'll see who can manage their emotions best early.
Everyone's been waiting for this game, right? You know, both of these teams have had this game circled all the way back to the beginning of the offseason, so you got to be able to play under control.
With passion, with energy, with hatred, because it's a rivalry game, but keep your emotions in check and making sure I'm controlling what I can control.
And he's knocked down, but not before moving the chains. Lining up from the 34 on first down. Use the play fake, now to throw. Floats it out in space. And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain. Let's see what they've got on second down. They'll give it to the back. You want to make sure to maximize those types of runs, and he gets it out to the 41. They've got it at the 41, third and short, trying to keep the chains moving. They'll try to get it through the air. He finds his man, and they'll bring him down, but not before he picks up the first down. And now a fresh set of downs for this offense. Going up top on first down. Takes the easy throw in the flat. We had a barn burner the last time these two teams played, and no reason to expect anything else between these two bitter rivals.
Attention to detail, and I think the sense of urgency, David, in a game like this just goes way up.
And I think managing the emotions in these type of games, you know last year was a classic. Now you're trying to form this year's identity of this team and go out and get a win in a big-time rivalry game.
They were all over him, nowhere to go as that third down play turned into a disaster. Gets the first one of the day out of there. He ought to be fresh. They only used him twice in that victory last week. The Yellow Jackets offense has the ball for the first time. Here are our impact players for this game, and it goes beyond executing an assignment to make an impact in the game.
Yeah, obviously we were talking to both coaching staffs this week, and we asked them who needs to step up and play well. They immediately pointed to these guys right here. They are the key for their respective teams.
Yeah, and they don't always show up in the box score, but these are the guys are the leaders. These are the guys getting everybody organized and have to play well for their team to succeed.
Missed his receiver there. It's incomplete. This crowd going to try to make life miserable for these guys. On third down, going up top. He's moving out of the pocket. He'll have enough to move the chains. It's first down at the 38. And the Yellow Jackets come to the line with a fresh set of downs. He wants to throw. It'll fall incomplete. A little creativity on first down, but it doesn't work. It'll be second down. He's looking to throw. Back open in the middle. It has been a season to forget, and honesty compels us to say changes are probably coming.
I'm not sure, but I think Reese Davis just fired a coach. Is that what I heard? I'm pretty sure that's what just happened. Listen.
The freshman able to get home with the sack.
And this dude knows how to get after quarterbacks. Last week he had 3 sacks. He gets his first today. I'll tell you what, you better know where he is before the ball snapped every single play.
The Yellow Jackets line up to punt it away. This will be their first punt of the afternoon. And the returner will be brought down. They'll snap this one to start the drive from their own 22. They'll come out on this drive and let it rip. Quickly out to the tight end. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker. Fast motion from the offense. The inside handoff. A collision, and he stopped at the 27 after picking up 1. Fairly manageable distance here on 3rd down from the 27. From the gun, wants to pass. Keeping his eyes downfield, rolling left. And he scoots his way to the 1st down and then slides to avoid the hit. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Trying to find his man on 1st down. Looking to the big tight end. It's caught downfield. They got him free for a big gainer to the 43. He wants to throw. Makes the grab. Oh, there might have been trouble if they had knocked him down so quickly. 2nd down coming up. He's looking to throw. Fires to the big fella. He stopped at the 32-yard line. Pick up a 5 on the play, and it'll be a 1st down. From the gun, they'll give it on the inside. Not a whole lot of room as he gets a couple inside the 30 to the 29. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Just a short pass to the tight end. And he goes out of bounds after a nice pickup on that one. Pre-snap motion in the backfield. Pocket starts to collapse. Under pressure, and down he goes at the 33.
How nice is it as a defense when you can drop 7 guys into coverage, only rush 4, and still get home? That makes you feel good if you're the D coordinator.
Now on 4th down, they'll settle for a field goal try. This field goal attempt is going to be an even 50-yarder. No good. After the miss, no change in the score.
Well, the upright playing the 12th man on defense, knocking that ball down. That looked like it had a chance to be good.
The Georgia Tech offense rolls back onto the field. That last drive won't go on the highlight reel after ending in a punt. They'd like to be more productive this time, David.
And I think this offense has to be a little bit more balanced. Find a little balance between the run, Jesse, and working in that pass.
And I think, too, David, it's just going to take a spark. It just takes one play to get this thing picked up and going.
He's looking for an open man on 2nd down. And it's an incomplete pass over the middle. Here comes his home crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on 3rd down. Looking to throw for it. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete. And the Yellow Jackets will punt this one away. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. He'll get it to about the 25 before they put a stop to the return. They'll put this one in play first snap of the drive from the 25. Off the play fake on 1st down. On the move, he fires. A strike downfield. And he was off to the races, and he gets it to the 45.
And as a defense, you have to be aware, just because this guy lines up all the way to the right, that doesn't mean he's going to run routes all the way across your face. They lost track of him, and because of that, it was a big explosive play.
What a snag by the defense. Didn't really get a chance to get started on that return, but he has set him up at the 41-yard line.
It's all about making plays, and this guy's been waiting to make his mark on this team. He gets his first interception of the season, and what a momentum-changing play for his team.
Georgia Tech has the ball back, and here comes the Yellow Jacket offense. The last time we saw this offense, we had to look quick. It was a 3-and-out, Jesse.
They just had no rhythm in that last drive. So someone's going to have to step up and make a play, David, and get this thing going.
Yeah, let's find some juice. Find your guy. Find those plays that you know you can run inside out, forward, backwards, get some first downs, get some positive momentum.
I know you want to prepare for every game the same way, but there's just something different about rivalry games, Jesse.
It's because, Reese, I think players are aware that games like this define your legacy.
Quarterback tried to scramble around for a while, but the defense able to bring him down. He spent his whole career in the backfield, now 40 career sacks.
That is absolutely insane. A guy that can get to the quarterback that much. You know where he's at, Palmer. He's on the end of the line of scrimmage most of the time. You're pointing to him. There's the guy we got to make sure that doesn't make the play, and he gets to the quarterback time and time again.
There are very few players, I think, in college football, David, that you need to know where they line up each and every play because they are going to disrupt everything. This guy has been that all throughout his career. 40 sacks. That is unbelievable.
They'll run it from the gun. Finds that crease, and he's got 4 out to the 29. After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. He's looking to throw. Quick strike complete. Brought down to the ground, but he has enough for the first down.
Nice job by the wide receiver getting open on that slant route against man coverage. He fakes like he's going to the outside. He's able to create some separation, cross his face, and then secures the catch.
They've got it at the 37. It's 1st and 10. Looking for room. It's Harper. Not much working there. It'll be 2nd and 9. Stuck with a running game on first down. Now here they come again. Looking to pass on 2nd down. Gets it out fast. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one. We've reached the end of the first quarter, and it has been a defensive battle, and the stats tell the tale so far. Let's see if the offenses can find a little rhythm here in the second. Now facing a 3rd and long. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. And the deep shot is complete inside the 35-yard line.
What a beautiful throw and catch on this play, and I love the job the receiver did tracking the ball in the air. Nice job of locating the throw and then hauling it in.
Not the most productive half for this offense so far, but finally starting to get it in gear. 1st and 10. From the shotgun, the handoff to the back.
Listen, you got to be able to know what play to call and what hole to go through. Like the line blocks for a certain hole. Good job getting through the hole, getting what was blocked, getting a nice positive gain, making your situation really good on the next down.
He almost punched it in for 6. They'll get him down at the 1-yard line. From the 1, it's 1st and goal as they try to open the scoring here. He wants it all. And he's in for the touchdown. They can use this first score to sort of set the tone, guys, in this rivalry matchup.
Man, doesn't this feel good to come out, score early, get the crowd involved, get the nerves out of the way, Palmer, when you're playing in a big rivalry game.
Yeah, and I feel like momentum's always a big thing in any game, but in rivalry games, it's that much more important because everybody is going to feed off that first score now.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Dynamite matchup this week, fellas. Let's show you what's going down. Western Kentucky is currently trailing in this one, but it feels like the tide may be turning. These toppers have picked themselves up before, and they're capable of it again today. They're trailing by just 4 to UTEP. We'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should roll.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. They'll go with a direct snap. Not much doing there. He gets it to the 26, a gain of 1. Now looking for that first down on 3rd and short from the 26. Looking to move the chains. They throw it complete to the left. He is tackled, but it'll be a fresh set of downs. The Yellow Jackets have it with a 1st and 10. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. Good pickup on the ground, and they'll mark him down at the 39. Got 8 on 1st down, now looking at a 2nd and 2. Hand off from the shotgun. And he's almost to that 1st down marker there, saying he's a little bit short. They might want to bring out the sticks and measure, but it looks as if he'll be just short of the 1st down. Nice job to keep it himself, find the 1st down marker, and move the change for this offense. They'll put it in play from the 41 on 1st down. Here's the handoff. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. And now on 2nd down for this offense. He's looking to throw. That one never had a chance. Incomplete. And they've converted their first 2 3rd down opportunities, but a 3rd and long is a different animal. Here's the snap, looking to throw. Going to try to pop one on the screen. They play that screen nicely. He tried to find his way to the marker, but it'll be 4th down. And the Yellow Jackets decide to punt it away. 4th time tonight we've seen this guy come on to punt. Going to make sure he doesn't get a return on this one as the punt bounces out of bounds. On 1st down, here comes this offense. They'll move the running back to try to force the defense to adjust. Gets it to the back. They'll rip off 8 on that play. It's 2nd and 2. Give to the running back. Knocked down at the 31 after a gain of 5. 1st and 10 for the offense. Looking to move it through the air. Now improvising. Trying to make magic with his feet. Good run on the play, and he slides to avoid the hit. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Use the play fake, now to throw. How about that play to get a hand in there and force the incompletion? After the misconnection, it's 2nd down. He's looking to throw. Scrambling away. He'll pull it down. Still running at the 40. Picks up the 1st down and gets down to avoid contact.
It's just so hard to stop. There is no rhyme. There is no reason. He just scrambles around, makes people miss, and the next thing you know, you look up and he's 20, 30 yards down the field, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Got his man in the middle.
Well, we knew coming into this game, this offense was going to try and get this receiver involved and get him involved early. So here they are just finding an easy completion. It's not a touchdown, but they just want to get the...
Fires into traffic, picked off. And after the interception and the turnover, this defense has set its offense up for business.
And this is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision-making.
The Rambling Wreck offense rolls back onto the field. Their drive chart is starting to look a little monotonous. Punt, 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 David.
And their defense is starting to get a little frustrated, too. They just keep putting me back on the field, possession after possession. Jesse, this offense needs to get their heads out of their you-know-whats.
The punter's on the sideline with the oxygen mask right now. He's been playing so much. He's not used to this. This offense, they just got to stay on the field. They've got to put a drive together and get some balance going, running and throwing the ball.
On the run, still looking. Any way you can in your freshman season at quarterback, and he gets it done on the ground. They'll snap it from the 25 here on 1st down. He's going to pass. On target over the middle. And he was loose and in the open field and on his way. A tremendous pickup on that one. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. And they'll bring him to the ground after a short gain. Got 3 on 1st down. It's 2nd and 7. It's a reverse. plows through the defense. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. They're about to wear this punter out. He's already been out 4 times, staring at a 5th if they can't move the chains. Pressure coming. And the defense is all over the quarterback, and down he goes.
And they've been waiting for something good to happen with respect to getting after the quarterback, right? They're outside of the top 100 in the country in sacks per game, but finally now you see they're generating this pass rush. 3 sacks on the game so far.
The Yellow Jackets send out the punt unit. They've been busy out there to punt for the 5th time today. Another punt on the way. Got to make sure those hammies and glutes all activated. Don't want any muscle pulls from overuse. Everybody stays in their lanes well enough, and they stop him at the 31-yard line. Give to the back. Not a lot of daylight. He gets 1 to the 32. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. He's looking to throw. They've got the screen set up. They make the stop, but not before the screen has hit him for a first down and much more. Really good execution by this offense. They'll leave it with him. That's what you expect from a senior. Don't give them any extra yards. Great tackle there. Kept it on the ground on first down. Now back to the line. Wants to fire on 2nd down. Receiver looks it in. It's complete. They make the stop after the catch, and still some work to do to pick up that first down. Wants to throw on 3rd down. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down. And that is textbook instructional video. Out of bounds right around the goal line. From the gun. Give on the inside. And they don't pick up anything right there, but at least they avoid getting tackled in their own end zone. Right back to the well. Only a couple there, and now staring at 3rd and 8. There's a timeout called as this offense tries to find a way to draw a little closer. Listen to this crowd just shaking the girders of this place, trying to help their defense. Fighting to get it out of the end zone, and I don't think he made it. He did not. It's a safety.
Oh, and how about this defense? Understanding where they are in the field. They got a chance to put points on the board, and they do.
So after giving up the deuce on the safety, now they'll be able to kick it away without a rush from the 20.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. He'll come out throwing on first down. Unloads to the wideout. It's caught. The offense quickly calls timeout to stop the clock. And after that pitch and catch, he's already over 200 yards, and we're in the first half, Jesse.
Man, Reese, he's dialed in right now. He's really doing a nice job seeing the field, reading coverages, and finding his open route.
There to make the tackle, but the big throw is good enough to give them a first down. The offense calls timeout. It's the 2nd one they've used this half. They'll throw it on first down. Now adjusting. Trying to make magic on the scramble. He was able to squirt free and pick up just a few on that one. The offense calls a timeout to stop the clock. They'd love nothing better than to add a 3-ball here before the break. He'll need to unleash his thunderfoot on this 56-yard attempt from the right hash. No good. Could have stretched the lead out there, but guys, it's still sitting at 9. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Fellas, what an environment there today. All the animosity and flat-out hatred that comes with a good old-fashioned rivalry game on display in that first half. And we'd be remiss if we didn't start this halftime report by acknowledging the sparkling play of this tight end. The guy's like an aircraft carrier out there as a blocker. And then when he releases and shows off that speed and route running, he's almost unguardable. Gotta believe he won't be able to go anywhere in this second half without someone attached to his hip. With that, let's throw it back to the guys to see how this rivalry matchup plays out.
Kickoff and kickoff return teams on the field, and we're just about ready to go in the second half. Returner will field it and try to get some field position. And they'll bring him down to get the offense started on the next drive. They've got him then deep in their own end, and this crowd trying to help keep them there. He wants to start this drive with a pass. Complete to the left. He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a first down for this offense. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. Pretty good job of running to get two there to the 32 after picking up a couple at 2nd and 8. He's looking to throw. Using the back as a receiver on the screen. And he's out of bounds after the nice gain, and maybe that is finally the spark to get this passing game going.
And they executed that running back screen to perfection. Quarterback held on to it. He let the rush get to him. Offensive lineman got out in position, and the running back sold it too. Once he had the ball in his hands, he just had blockers and green field out in front of him. They pick up an explosive play on a running back screen.
Here's an opportunity for this offense in search of its first touchdown. It's 1st and 10. He's looking to throw it. Caught behind the line. It's Costa. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. Now after the short completion, it's 2nd down. He's looking to throw. And the ball comes out. What a disastrous play. Once that ball was loose, offense didn't have a chance. Defenders everywhere. It's a turnover.
And the defense able to get pressure to the quarterback, and they've got everybody trying to swipe at the football. The impact on the hit sometimes jars the ball loose. Great job with the pass rush, and then better job forcing a turnover.
Now they'll try to cash in this drive. 1st and 10 from the 50. Leaves it with the back. At the 40, there he goes. And eventually taken down. But what about that spin move? Gives him the first down yardage. They move the tight end all over. Using the quick game. Makes a grab and he's dragged down. They'll line up for a 2nd down play. Fires to the wideout. And the pass falls harmlessly to the ground. We'll see if the laundry is as harmless. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. And here comes the offense on 2nd down. They'll try the run. Found that crease, and they knock him down after a pickup of 5 to the 32. How bold will they be on 3rd down after that last run? From the gun, wants to pass. He's got an open man. He'll be brought down at the 3-yard line. An explosive play in the passing game has him on the doorstep. So close to cashing it in for this offense.
Well, Reese, you and I were talking about this before the game. How is this defense going to be able to deal with all the speed they have offensively? You saw them just rip off a big play.
And Jesse, now they're hit, and he barrels into the end zone for a touchdown. Now they have extended this lead, guys, starting to put the hammer, but sometimes a rivalry game can give you a little of extra fight back.
And there can be no panic at this point now. You've worked too hard this offseason, David. They've had this game circled for so long. You've got to play your best football right now and fight back.
And you just need something good to happen on this next possession. You've got to get the crowd back into this football game. Big rivalry, get some emotion, get some momentum on your side.
About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. The Georgia Tech offense rolls back onto the field. It's reverse. Trailing now by 17, David. This is an opportunity that they need to answer.
And down by 17, it's not panic mode yet. Like, I know we just gave up some points and our defense hasn't played great. I think this offense can still be who they are and stay consistent.
No doubt, lots of football to go. But you do get the feeling this is the time of game where, you know, it could get bad. If you don't score and all of a sudden they get the ball back, they take it down the field and put some points up, this thing might be over. So absolutely, this quarterback, he wants to drive this offense down the field and at least put something on it.
And the Yellow Jackets will call on their punt team. And these guys have been busy. 6th punt of the day. He gets it up to the 34-yard line before he stopped, and that's where the offense will set up shop. Opening play of this drive comes from the 34. Pulls and fires complete. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. Line getting set on 2nd down. He's looking to throw. Got his man quickly. Brought down at the 46, but he got 10 on the play. The offense setting up shop at the 46, 1st and 10. Fires to the big fella. And a good job of coverage by that defense, just a short pickup. Win with the running game on 1st down, now back at it. They go to the draw. A pickup of 8 now to convert this 3rd and 2. Trying to pick up a 1st down. On 3rd and short, they'll go to the power running game. And they did not let him get to that 1st down line. It'll bring up a call here. 4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. No opportunity to run it back as the ball goes out of bounds. Georgia Tech has the ball back, and here comes the Yellow Jacket offense. Looking for a crease. It's Costa. And that's a very productive 1st down play and bringing up 2nd and 3. He's looking to throw. He lobs one high down the left side. And the ball is picked off. And he's brought down after the pick, but not before putting his offense in business.
Nice read, nice break. Good job by the defender understanding that ball had some air underneath it. Takes advantage of it, goes and makes the big play.
They'll snap it from the 10 for the 1st play of this drive. The give to the tailback. Not much there. He gets 1 to the 11. Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. Trying play action. He's going for a big play downfield. And they wanted it all on that incomplete pass. Instead, they're looking at 3rd down. They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. Wide open downfield. He's going to have enough to pick up the 1st down as they stop him at the 33-yard line. Wide out in motion. Handoff from the gun. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Lost 1 on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. He's looking to throw. Got his man downfield. Defense on skates that time. They finally drag him down at the 42.
Well, how about the offense setting that play up? We've seen earlier in the game a couple shorter throws. They're just trying to suck those safeties closer to the line of scrimmage, anticipating that they would get an opportunity to take a shot. They called the perfect play at the perfect time right there.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. And he's able to find a little bit of running room before they get him down. They're looking at a 3rd down and short from the 33. They'll try to power their way ahead. Finds a crease at the 20. He's up to 81 yards rushing, and that should be no surprise. He's been among the nation's elite all season.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, you know they're running the football. It's just a matter of who's getting it and where they're going. But this offense, it really didn't matter. Nice job up front, nice execution, picking up not only the 1, making it an even bigger play and getting the 1st down.
Finds his big tight end. Crisp execution in the passing game, and they've got it down to the 3. Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down. Motion from the offense. He wants to pass it on 2nd down. Can't make the grab as he was going for 6 right there. Really need to pick up this conversion and avoid having to settle for the field goal. On 3rd and short, they'll try to convert through the air. And it's a touchdown, puts 6 on the board. That dude's really big. How in the world did they lose him?
He's down here. He does a lot of blocking, and you play a lot of man coverage in the red zone. And what do? Peek in the backfield, and you lose the big fella. I don't know how he lost that big of a guy, but he lost the race.
Now they'll line up for what they hope is automatic. The kick is up and good and put 1 more on the lead. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
All right, guys, a little update on what else is happening in college football this weekend. Vanderbilt is currently trailing, but this has been a back-and-forth affair. If that quarterback can find a little magic a la Jay Cutler, this might not be over just yet. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to Tennessee. Just another week of college football where we've come to expect the unexpected. Fellas?
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3. 3rd down, and this offense is already in a world of trouble. They could really use a conversion, not to mention multiple scores. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. He gets a block. And talk about spreading the ball around. Everyone getting a chance to show off the hands based on the number of targets we've seen. One more quarter to go, and it looks as if we are ready to play. Now this offense is back on the field. One man in the backfield, and he gets it. And they'll finally get him down after a terrific pickup. They've got it at the 37. It's 1st and 10.
And first down for the offense.
They'll go to the ground. And he does a really nice job finding open space and making a good gain before the stop is made. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Finds the tight end. And he'll be taken down, but he does have enough for the 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Comes out throwing on 1st down. He's got his man. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the 1st down. Now on 2nd down. He's looking to throw. Tight end finds a soft spot. That's a really good tackle there, giving up some size and still making the play. He's got the tight end. Huge gain before he goes out of bounds, and now they've got it 1st and goal. The offense threatening. Close to the end zone now with a new set of downs. Back to the air one more time. Snatched it right out of the air and waltzed his way into the end zone for the touchdown. They put up another score here in the 4th, and they are well on their way to an 11 regular season.
There's no mercy rule in college football, man. They've got a huge lead here in the fourth quarter. They are still chucking it, and they are still scoring.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And he did get that extra point through the slippery surface, no problem. About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. From inside his own 10, let's see what he gets. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. The Ramblin' Wreck offense rolls back onto the field. Finds his big tight end. They make the stop right there. Good pickup, but still short of the first down. A little bit more to go after that last completion. They'll try to pick it up on second down. And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf. They'll try to move the chains on third and short from the 27. They'll try to pick up the first through the air. Right on target this time. He'll have enough to move the chains. It's first down at the 38.
That's a first down for the offense.
He wants to throw. Trying to get to him. Still on his feet. And he has a solid gain on the play before sliding. This offense has a second down play.
Second down.
He's looking to throw. Release to the back. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. Third down coming. They'll try to get the first through the air. He puts a lot of air under it down the sideline.
And that's just the kind of game it's been for this quarterback in this offense. You got a great game plan all week long. You're watching it throughout practice. You think you're going to have a chance to light up the scoreboard, but they're just not able to hook up. You got to give this defense a ton of credit. They've done a great job in coverage. They've been breaking on passes. They've had their number, and that's why they're leading by as much as they are.
They spun that wheel of fortune on fourth down and come up bankrupt. A solid pickup there before the defense is able to make the stop. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. The give to the right. On the move at the 30. He's piled up 112 yards rushing and getting ever closer to that 1,200-yard mark. From the 22 on 1st and 10. Completed pass, but it not only goes nowhere, it goes backwards. Here comes the offense on second down.
Second down coming up.
They'll put the tight end in motion. On second down, looking again to throw. That pass is incomplete, and they might be fortunate it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. It'll be third down. Off play action. Starts to scramble to the left. And he gets it just beyond the line of scrimmage before he gets down. Now looks as if they'll settle for the field goal try. Not a particularly long kick from 36 yards out, but he'll have to guide it in from the left hash. They're really starting to extend that lead as they get ready to kick it away again. From inside the 10-yard line, he'll bring it back. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. The Georgia Tech offense rolls back onto the field. They were really aggressive going for it in their own end last time and put them in a tough spot, David.
Yeah, aggressive, reckless. They got to find the balance with this offense to really be productive. And last possession they went for it, they rolled the dice, Palmer, and it didn't work out for them.
Yeah, if you're better on third down moving forward, though, you can keep yourself out of those situations.
3rd and 10, still backed up inside their own 20. This drive hasn't really gotten started. From the gun, wants to pass. And that defense gets to him, and down he goes at the 9.
As a defensive lineman, let me tell you something. This is hunting season. This is when you pin your ears back and you absolutely fly to the quarterback, and you can see it. They know it's pass, and they get to him again.
The Yellow Jackets will punt it away on 4th down. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. He just wanted to get it out of there from his end zone. Good job by the coverage unit to put a stop to that return. So, guys, we'll see this offense again. He'll keep it himself. He'll take 4 yards on 1st down every time, 2nd and 6.
Brings up 2nd down.
Leaves it with the running back. They get him down at the 34-yard line. Give him 15 yards on the pickup and a 1st down. They'll give it to him again. Pulled down at the 29 after getting 5. Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Trying to surprise him with the pass. Finds his tight end. Slammed to the ground, but not before he gets the 1st down. Snap's going to come from the 23 on 1st and 10. Looking to move it through the air. Finds a soft spot in the middle. He's brought down. Solid pickup, but a little bit short of the 1st down. 2nd and short now after that completion. Holds and fires complete to the right. He's there to make the stop, and they threw it in reverse, losing yardage on that play. And here comes play number 6 of the drive. Smart move to keep it on the ground. And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop. It's 4th down, and they'll try the field goal. The holder will spot it about 35 yards out. It's good. He hit that one right down the middle. And that'll add 3 more to a lead that is already way out of hand. That lead just keeps getting fatter, and this kickoff team doing a little running. On the run from inside his own 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Georgia Tech has the ball back, and here comes the Yellow Jacket offense. Setting up the screen. He's been under pressure all season, and they really haven't done much to turn down that heat. And it's just hard to imagine that this guy will be back leading this program next year.
Yeah, and you want to see him finish strong, and I think Coach needs to finish strong. All the negativity swirling around the program, obviously, you hear it. It's a part of it. The kids hear it, but finishing strong would kind of ease some of that. But Palmer, it's the body of work. Everything he did this season is going to be taken into account, and it's going to be tough, I think, for him to keep his job.
It's a combination of wins and losses this year, but it's also about who's out there. There's some good big-time candidates, some good coaches that could come in. We know they've got the money to spend. It just seems like they're going to make a change.
He was hoping for a little more running room, but they're able to get him down at the 45. 1st down here with time for maybe one more play until the 2-minute warning. On the move, it's Harper. We've reached the 2-minute warning, and this offense will be quite content just to drain the rest of the time away. He'll pull it on the read. Nice move to stay on his feet. Dragged down to the turf, but not before getting the 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Movement here from the tight end. And I don't think they got it snapped before the play clock ran out.
Delay of game. Offense.
Offense took a little bit too much time at the line there. After the shower of flags, it's 1st and 15 for this offense. The give to the back. A strong tackle and wrap up from the junior. Kept it on the ground on first down. See if they stick with that plan on second. The give to the back. Fighting off the defender. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. There's a long and storied history of great games between these two rivals, and this chapter adds another to that legacy.
Really impressed by the poise by the winning team as well here. They weren't overhyped in this game. They came out, they looked prepared, they were calm, definitely confident. And David, they were able to go out and execute well enough to get this win.
And it's hard in these rivalry games with all the emotions running so deep. Like, you sometimes get overzealous. Sometimes you get too many penalties. It's hard to rein in your emotions, but they did. They kept it in check, and now bragging rights for a whole year.
That's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, our entire broadcast team, I'm Reese Davis. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.